Hey guys, and welcome to episode number 2 of my Out of the Park Baseball 21 series with the Oakland Athletics. It is draft day. We currently sit 30 and 34, 4 games out of first place. It's been a pretty uneven start, but that's kind of what we expected. You can see it was a very, very good April. We were 16 and 12 in April. The wheels sort of fell off a little bit in May. Um, but I mean, we weren't anticipating being a good team this year, so here we are. Um, you can see offensively we're really struggling. Pitching, we're not doing so bad. I mean, we have the best ERA in the American League um, so far. And hasn't been all bad. There has been some good. So let's take a look at the offense first. We're led by three players who are at 1.5 WAR: Herb Blanche, Chris Russell, and Jeff Gatz. Gatz isn't really anything. He's sort of a placeholder at the moment. He's a no power, low on base percentage kind of outfielder, but Blanche and Russell are potentially players that we can build around. Blanche is only 25, hit 258 last year in his first full season. He's got that average up to 288 so far this year, putting up a 780 OPS. Not a ton of power, which is a bit concerning out of your third baseman, but good gap power. I mean, he's on pace for 50 doubles, 119 RBIs. So, all things considered, he's very, very good defensively. So, pretty solid there. Chris Russell, our big acquisition in the offseason. I mean, this is his first taste of the big leagues. He signed a huge contract in the offseason when things, seemed to click for him. He's on pace for 25 homers, 80 RBIs, 3.5 WAR. It's kind of what I expected. I think the OPS will probably be a little bit higher by the end of the season, but if he puts up an 850 to 900 OPS, and he's a 24-year-old catcher who's good defensively, you can't really beat that. So I've got a couple of solid pieces there. And then beyond that, it's not very good, but it's not supposed to be. I mean, we're not a very good team. Mario Zabala playing very good defense, not really hitting at all. Jerry O'Neill is similar to Gatz in his ratings. We picked up a couple of players in the Rule 5, Luis Lopez, Jose Valdez, and I think that was it, right? I think that was it. Oh, and Angel Gonzalez we picked up too, and Gonzalez isn't hitting either. But I'm hoping it's just, he's had one game over high A ball, so he's clearly not ready for the big leagues, but I'm hoping, his ratings come along as the season goes on. But Lopez and Valdez have done okay. Lopez was hurt for most of the beginning of the season. You can see in 17 games, he's putting up an 804 slugging and, 6 home runs in 17 games. So he's been really good. Valdez has been okay as a 25-year-old who has never played above Double A ball. 10 home runs in 57 games. I mean, I'll take it. Jim Lacombe is fun. He's kind of like Rob Deere or the guy in Texas. Why can't I think of his name? The guy in Texas who hits a ton of home runs and strikes out a bunch right now. You can see his ratings are. We picked him up in a trade in the offseason. His ratings are kind of goofy, but he's a very, very good defensive outfielder. He's got very, very good speed and has elite level power. You can see he's got 10 home runs in 36 games. He's only hitting a $174, but he's got an OPS of 730 because of his slugging. So if he can get his average up to 230, he can be a successful player for us. So just sticking him in right field and letting him mash for the time being. That's about it. I mean, not a whole lot offensively, but there are a couple of pieces here that aren't terrible. Pitching, again, best ERA in the American League, but it hasn't been great. Our two main starters, or our top, I guess, three starters, Springer, Wilcher, and Lilly, varying degrees of success. Wilcher is was our top prospect. He was the number 4 pick a couple years back. Struggling so far, 6.82 ERA and 13 starts, but last couple starts have been okay. 3 of his last 4 starts have been pretty good. 2 runs in 5 2/3, 3 and 7, and then 1 and 5 here. So he's lowered his ERA from 7.69 to 6.82 in his last couple starts. So I'm encouraged. He's got to improve that control. but a 23-year-old who can throw 97 to 99 and is a ground ball style pitcher, has the ability to be very, very successful in out of the park. They tend to do really well. So looking forward to him. Mike Springer was the guy we got in the Rule 5. I mean, we have him as our ace, but if he could be a number 2, he could be a number 2 with these ratings, especially if his stuff improves. He's got 4 very, very good pitches, good stamina. You can see he's 82 innings and on pace to pitch over 200 innings. So yeah, he's been pretty good so far too. Edgar Rueda is our number 5. He's been okay. He's been pretty good. He's got 4 good pitches, or 3 good pitches rather. I'm likely to try to move him, as he's going to be due a raise this upcoming off season. Not entirely sure what he's going to be asking for, but this is a good back half of the rotation pitcher. So maybe I hold on to him, maybe I don't. I don't know. Danny Carcamo was actually our closer last year, and I moved him into the starting rotation this year because I just felt, he has 2 good enough pitches, very good control, good movement. The slider's acceptable, good stamina, extreme ground ball pitcher who can throw 100 miles an hour. So if we make him a reliever, you can see his ratings get a little better, but I think he's worth more to us as a starter. And so far he's been okay. Hasn't been great, but he's been okay. There's not really a singular thing. Maybe he's given up a few too many home runs. But overall it's not been bad. It's his first year as a starter for us, so it's going to be a learning curve. But overall, our rotation, and then Mike Lilly is another one that we're probably looking to move. He's probably the one we're looking to move the most. 28 years old. Has never really developed the way I think they probably would have wanted. They took him number 1 in 2021. Got 3 good pitches, but everything else is sort of average. So we'll probably look to move him. In the bullpen, Haifeng Z was our quote-unquote big off-season acquisition, and he's struggled a bit. But again, he's a 23-year-old making his major league debut this year as our closer. So I think he'll get better as that movement improves and everything gets a little better. But the rest of our bullpen's been pretty good. Ken Poppy, Jesus Solis, Sarmiento, Josh Beck. They've all got ERAs under 3. So our bullpen hasn't been bad, which is good because we've been using them a lot. So yeah, there's definitely some room to grow. Obviously, we're not where we want to be. Our minor league system is doing okay. You can see our AAA team is 22-31. Anybody here? Let's just do it this way. Let's look at. Yeah, Galladay is our top prospect. He's in AA right now. I'll probably call him up to AAA pretty soon. He doesn't have a whole lot more. Maybe end of June, call him up to AAA. Let him finish the season in AAA, and then we can have him up with us next year. And then Springer and Russell are with the big clubs. So we don't have a lot of prospects, which leads us to the draft. We have the number 1 pick in the draft. And I've spent a lot of time looking at this, and there are a few players that I think are potentials, but in the end, I think we're going to go with what OSA says we're going to go with. From a pitching perspective, there's one 4-star, 3.5-star pitching prospect, Jaden Hines. He's not bad. He's a good 97 to 99. Potentially a very good starter. But offensively, it really comes down to Josh Allen. Josh Allen is the best hitter in the draft, hands down. Sid Moore is very good as a shortstop. OSA likes him a whole lot more than us. He's still got a ways to go defensively, at least from a comfort level perspective. Got some speed, but in the end, I think it's going to be Josh Allen. Can already play all 3 outfield positions in the majors, probably right now. Great speed and, really solid with the bat. He's 22. He went to Miami. Played great competition. You can see he put up a 732 slugging as a senior, a 4-star potential. I think this is our pick and our future center fielder of the future. Future center fielder of the future. So I think that's where we're gonna go with this. So we'll take Mr. Allen, and we'll do a little digging when it comes to our second round pick. So we'll take Josh Allen. Go to our second pick. Who do they think we should take? Justin Reeves, a shortstop. No, he's terrible. I mean, we need everything. So I don't think there's a wrong answer here. But I know there were a couple of decent pitchers. Did any of the decent starters fall through? It doesn't appear so. So Perez, I like him. Really good stuff, good movement, decent control, 3 really good pitches. Can already throw 101 miles an hour, and he's 19. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to take Orlando Perez. Yeah, I mean, he's got great stuff. His stamina's only a 39, though. That's a problem. Bizarre. You've got a 2-pitch reliever here with a 99 stamina, and then you've got a starter with a 39 stamina. I don't understand it. I don't think he'll be there, though, when it comes back around. As of right now, it's still going to be Perez. I'm hoping that stamina increases with some time. Not a lot of great talent. So we got a good first round pick, and Jeff Guitard's not bad, but he'll be there in another round. We will take a look at him next round. What about power? This was a guy I was looking at. I may take a run at him. An 18-year-old with 90 home run power. Even if this is what he ends up being, I mean, you take someone like that. That's just elite power. I think that's what we're gonna take. Mike Matlock. Let's take Mike Matlock. If Perez is still there, we'll take him now in the third round. I don't suspect he will be, but yeah, he's not there. All right, so let's get back here. Let's look at that. I think we may go after that starting pitcher, Jeff Guitard, and make him a hitter. He's going to come in well below slot, which is nice. It's always good as the A's to try to save a little money. We just got to remember to make him a batter. Who do they want us to take now? Kevin Miles. He's okay, I guess. With a good eye and power combo. Jeff Bales, a catcher. Terrible. 1.5 star. Decent catcher ability. Meh. Ooh, excuse me. Doesn't appear to be a lot left. 8 drafting players like this just feels like a waste. Maybe Jim Gibbons. 18 years old. Decent, looks like he can play all 3 infield positions minus first. He develops into a backup middle infielder. I think you're okay with that. So Jim Gibbons be our number 4 pick. Glitch is another one of those young power bats. I don't think you can go wrong there. Steve Clark. Yep. Another power bat. Hopefully one of these 3 or 4 power guys that I've drafted will work out. Not, they don't. It's okay. Drew Webb, yeah, he's fine. He's average across the board, but that's about where we are at this point. So, and he's only 17. Take him, and I think that will do it. Here, actually, we'll take this guy and make him a hitter. Add Born Trigger. All right, that'll do it. Draft. Sign these guys. Hoping Matlock can turn into something nice. That'll be a nice second round pick if he develops. What's that? All right, so we got to remember Borntrager and Guitard both have to get moved to offense, or move to pitcher, I guess, or move to batter, I guess. And if Matlock can work out, even if these numbers stay exactly where they are, that means he's going to be a really elite power bat who's going to hit for low average and strike out a bunch. But in this day and age, there's value in that. So Mike Matlock. All right, so it's June 4th. I'm going to sim ahead to the international free agents. We've got plenty of money. Fans are coming in, so making some money. We've got a lot of money for extensions next season. Will Smith comes off the books. We don't really have any large contracts. We'll probably move Zabala just to get out from that $3.5 million there. But don't have a lot of contracts going into next season. May try to bring back Trammell. He's been pretty good for us. 284, 355, 432. He's been pretty solid for us. Hasn't played much outfield. Actually, it looks like he's played a lot of outfield. He's been better than expected. So, so we'll look to move. Mike Lilly's another one. He's not due to make a lot of money, but every million we can save and prospect we can bring in, it's going to help us long term. So Lilly, Rueda, Zabala, those are players that are probably on their way out prior to the trade deadline. But first things first. First thing will be the international signings, and then we'll go from there. So hang tight, guys. We'll be right back. All right, guys. It is July 2nd, international free agency time. We are 39 and 48. Has not been, it's been, again, I said this earlier, it's been uneven, which is to be expected. We were 10 and 16 in June, following up an 11 and 17 May, so 21 and 33 the last 2 months. Not very good. But you build up the farm system, you build up your depth, and that's how you win. We did make our first move of the season last month. We traded Mike Lilly and a minor league outfielder to the Charlotte Bucks, who are an expansion team, getting Dylan Lesko and Juan Mendez. So Lilly, 3-star. We talked a little bit about him. He's 28 years old, 3 decent pitches. Popular in the clubhouse, good stuff, but wasn't very good. I mean, he was okay for us. 4-3, 3.95 ERA. He was eligible for arbitration this year, was going to make about $2 million. We moved him to Charlotte, and we got Dylan Lesko and Juan Mendez. So we'll start with Mendez. He was the secondary piece in this, third baseman / outfielder, 25 years old, very, very good defensively. Has the potential to have a pretty good bat. Is in Double-A right now and really doing a solid job for us in Double-A. So play a couple positions. He's got some versatility, so nice pickup there. And then we also got Dylan Lesko, who his ratings were better than this when we picked him up. And this is unfortunate, but he's a captain. Good stamina, 3 good pitches, good stuff, good movement. His control isn't as good as Lilly, although he is still making the league minimum. So hopefully he can work out for us. So I think the combination of Lesko and Mendez, getting those guys in return for Lilly, I will take it. I mean, Lilly's probably a bit more sure thing, but yeah, I mean, I think getting both Mendez and Lesko, I think, can justify it. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself, because I don't want to think that I got the short end. So anyway, Josh Allen so far, 13 games, hitting .302 in A-ball. We have him playing in center field. He'll probably finish up the season in A-ball, start next season in Double-A, and see how he goes from there. Give him an opportunity to get some solid playing time. Matlock has started in rookie ball. He's got 7 home runs in 13 games. He's doing exactly what we wanted him to do, which is just mash. So far so good there. Guitard, we made him a hitter, and it turns out he's not as good as we thought. But again, that's the stuff you're going to deal with. Although he's hitting really, really well. I mean, he's hitting .417 he's 23 years old, so he probably shouldn't be in rookie ball. But yeah, so that happens. And Borntrager, we made him a batter as well, and his ratings are a little better. He's 2-star, so we'll see how it goes. But I think Allen and Matlock, I like my 1-2 kind of combination there. If we look at, I'm not going to run through everybody because I did this just a month ago, but Blanche is still hitting pretty well. Russell has really struggled over the last couple of months. You can see June was just an absolute train wreck. 132, 250, 250. So hopefully it's just those kind of, that learning curve, having never played above AAA, and he skipped AA last year. So hopefully this can come up a little bit, because we're paying him a lot of money. Lopez is up to 9 home runs in 27 games. Again, kind of that power bat, doing its job there. Herb Blanche continues to hit pretty well, on pace for 58 doubles and 114 runs knocked in. Jose Valdez was our other Rule 5 guy, and he's doing okay. It's coming along, 26 on pace for 26 home runs this year. He's not very good defensively. Neither Valdez nor Lopez can really play first base. They're really DHs. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to put Lacombe in right field, bring Lopez in at DH, run our lineup like that, and I think we're actually going to slide Russell down a little bit because he's been struggling so much with the bat. Yeah, because Gatz isn't part of our future, so there's no reason to play him every day. I'd rather play players that potentially have a future with us. Gaspari Ciapara, playing a very good shortstop for us this year. Not hitting very well, but that's fine. Taylor Trammell continues to do well, putting up an 800 OPS. What does he want to come this year? It's 1.5 for 2 years. What about if we do 1.5 and then the second year is a team option? Yeah, I'm okay with that. He's played pretty well this year, and if he busts out next year, it's only only $1.50, not the end of the world. Pitching. Wilcher has started to come along here a little bit. His ERA is down to 5.85. If you look at June for him, he put up a 3.53 ERA. Struck out 32 in 35 innings, so starting to come along a little bit for the 23-year-old. Springer went the opposite direction. My 3 young guys, the ones that I'm really hoping will be the backbone of the middle of my rotation, are all really struggling this year. All posting ERAs over 5. Their FIPS are no better, so it shows that they're not actually pitching well. Rueda, again, he's kind of he's that guy that I think has got some value, but I don't really know that I want to deal him. He seems to be getting better. His stuff has gotten better. I think his curveball's actually gotten better. So I don't know what I'm going to do here. Bullpen, for the most part, still doing okay. Haifeng Yi has actually improved to a potential 5-star pitcher. Movement's starting to come up a little bit, which is nice. It's going to limit those home runs. He's given up too many home runs. Too many hits, too many home runs. So, yeah, we've got, there's some pieces in place. Sorry, I got to shift around here a little bit. There are some pieces in place. We're a very, very young team. So, the plan is to get through this season without any horrible injuries. And hopefully we can put a piece at the top of the rotation next year, put a couple pieces in the bullpen, put a couple pieces in the lineup, and next year maybe we can shoot for that 500 mark. So let's take a look at the international amateurs, because that's where we're going to get some of those pieces. All right. So it looks like got a first baseman and a pitcher, and that's about it. Pitcher's not very good. Rodrigo Quezada, he's not bad. OSA likes him more than us, but I mean, do we really want to spend $5 million? Because that's what it's going to cost, right? We're going to have to spend the full $5 million to get him. He's a 16-year-old first baseman who is, granted, above average, but he's just that. He's above average, and he's 16. Do we really want to spend $5 million on him, or do we want to save that $5 million and do something else with it? That's the question. That's where we're at. Oh, excuse me. Jesus Gerardo, again, average. Wants the full $5 million as well. Yeah, I don't. There's nobody here that's really telling me he wants. They all want the full $5 million, yeah. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and skip the international free agent this time. And Jim Lacombe, we're gonna keep an eye on Mr. Jim here, because he is gonna be fun. At 16 home runs and 3 doubles on the year. He's hitting at .179, but he's got an OPS close to 800 because he's getting on base and he's hitting a lot of home runs. So he's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to keep an eye on him, and hopefully he can develop, because that's somebody I want in my lineup. Yeah, I mean, that's you got to enjoy that. The 506 slugging, almost an 800 OPS. So at any rate, that works for me. All right, so as we move up to the trade deadline, there are a couple of names that we're going to look to flip. Rueda, if I can get the right deal for him. I'm not going to move him just to move him, because he's not expensive. But if I can get something in value in return for him, I'll probably look to move Lesko as well. Yeah, his ratings were closer to this when we picked him up. So I don't know. He's a captain, and that's always valuable to have. But Lesko and Rueda will probably look to move out of the rotation, out of the bullpen. Solis is somebody that could look to be moved. Really, anybody in our bullpen, because they're all kind of in that high 20 to mid to high 20 range in terms of their age. Poppy's 28 or 29. Solis is 27. Sarmiento's 27. Beck is 27. So all of those guys are potential options to be moved, and he actually could be a starter. What do he look like if we move a starter? He might be a late bloomer. He might be somebody that we want to stick in the rotation here and see what he can do. In fact, let's do that, because he's a lefty, so get a lefty in the rotation, which is nice. So yeah, so I think Rueda, Lesko, and then anybody in our bullpen except for G. And then in our lineup, Zabala, really all of the outfielders except for, I mean, I would like to keep McComb, just because, again, he's fun. But really, the entire outfield is tradable. the entire infield is potentially movable, with the exception of, I would say, Russell and Blanche. Those are the two guys that I'm going to look to hold on to. And then from a prospect perspective, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to move Allen. I'm not going to move Galladay, but anybody else is. This guy's not bad. Billy Melder, he's 24 and he's in high A. I mean, how much better is he going to get? So he's a potential option to be moved. So I think it could be a pretty busy July as we look to make some moves and look towards 2032 and kind of moving forward. So I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead. When we come back, it'll be the trade deadline. And we'll take a look at what moves were made, and hopefully they will be better than the last one we made. So hang tight. Okay, it is the trade deadline. So before we take a look at the stats, let's take a look at the moves we made. There were a couple, and one of them was fairly significant in the return that we got. So we'll go here and we will. Where do we want to start? Let's start with the big one. Why not? So we sent Edgar Rueda, Jesus Solis, and a minor league catcher to the Mets, picking up 26-year-old starting pitcher Ivan Andrade. And we'll look at him in a second. But first, we'll show you what we gave up. So we gave up Rueda, which we talked about, at length about him. He was a solid back of the rotation pitcher, but had already hit his peak. He's 28, wasn't going to get any better. Was due for arbitration this year. I mean, the player we got back actually it's going to end up costing us more, but he's younger. The guy we got back is younger and better, so we'll look at him in a second. So Rueda was the key. We sent him and Solis, who 27-year-old, potentially eligible for arbitration, and it looks like he's down for the year. Wow, he's out for. He made 2 starts with the Mets, and the second one he blew out his elbow. So. Dodged a bullet there, as it were. And then Delmas is just a half-star catcher. They wanted him. And in return, we get Ivan Andrade. And Andrade was the AL Cy Young Award winner a year ago. He was traded to the Mets from Houston in the offseason. And then we picked him up at the beginning of the month. And so far, he's been electric. 5 starts, 1.52 ERA, 34 Ks in 29 and 2/3 innings. He is our ace. And, he's going to get expensive, and that's okay. But he's only 27. So far, so good. So really solid pickup there for us. Very happy there. And then a really weird deal. I was just sort of putzing around on some of the team's rosters, and I noticed that the Mariners were willing to move this 25-year-old second baseman Mario Guevara. And they really didn't want anything for him. It was bizarre. So we sent a 26-year-old starting pitcher, Devin McConnell. We got him in the offseason when we moved one of our larger contracts. I don't remember which one at this point. It's been a while since I've done that. So we sent them Devin McConnell, and they gave us this guy. Guevara is just an elite hitter at age 25. He can't field to save his life, but he is going to be a great hitter. And he was having a really good year with Seattle. He's come over to Oakland, and he's doing even better. He's got 4 home runs in 9 games, put up 345, batting average 793 slugging. So this felt like a no-brainer to me. He's only 25. He's never going to be a good second baseman, but that's fine. I mean, we can play him there if we absolutely have to. Maybe we can get him some reps at first and second during spring training next year, and he can develop that a little bit. I'm not entirely sure because his ratings aren't, like his error, his arm, and his DP aren't, and his turn double plays aren't terrible. His range is bad, which means he's not going to be a very good second baseman, but maybe he can move to first. I don't know, but I couldn't turn down the bat for what we had to give up. And then the last deal was with the Red Sox. We went back to our old stomping grounds and picked up a couple of outfielders that are going to help us now and in the future. We sent Dylan Lesko, Jeff Gatz, Andy Creed, and Tyler Thurmond to the Red Sox, getting Ricky Medina and Alex de Hoyos. You may or may not remember these guys if you watched my Red Sox save, but we'll take a look at them in a second. Lesko was the main piece. He was fine with us, but once we got him and we realized that he wasn't as good as his ratings had suggested, I was willing to move on from him. So we sent him to the Red Sox, who have immediately sent him to AAA. Jeff Gatz, who's a 2-star outfielder, who, granted, he's good defensively, got good speed, but he's, he's okay. I mean, he was hitting 297 with no power, so that's fine. Andy Creed, he's got some potential, but that movement scares me with him already being 25 and struggling in AA. I felt like now was the time to move him. He's got good control, good stuff, so he's never going to hurt himself. He's not going to walk a ton of batters. He's going to give up a lot of hits, going to give up a lot of home runs, and that's going to kind of limit his ceiling, as it were. And then Tyler Thurmond is just a 1-star again. They wanted him to close the deal. So, and in return, we got Alex de Hoyos, who is a captain. Still has some room for growth. Looks to be a decent hitter, not elite, but a decent hitter, and a very, very good defensive outfielder. He's already up with the big club. He's in AA for the Red Sox, and so far so good. In 7 games, he's hitting really, really well. And Medina is another one who is very similar to Gatz, but a bit better hitter, a bit better fielder, and a better base runner. So he's a little bit better across the board than Gatz was at everything, really. And he's out for 2 weeks with a strained hamstring. So when he comes back, he'll probably be our starting center fielder. So those were the deals that we made leading up to the trade deadline. So let's take a look at where we stand. So from a hitting perspective, Mario Zabala is our top WAR guy, and a lot of that is derived from his defense, where he's been elite in center field. Now that we have his replacement, we'll probably stick with him through the end of the season and then non-tender him at the end of the year or something like that. He's having a decent year with the bat, all things considered, but we have other better players waiting in the wings. Herb Blanche continues to do really well, putting up, he's only got almost under an 800 OPS, but it's July 31st. He has 42 doubles on the year already. He's still on pace to drive in over 100 runs, even though he's only on pace to hit 13 homers, playing very, very good third base as well. So he's kind of ingrained or entrenched there at third. We talked about Guava. Jose Valdez, one of our Rule 5 guys, has really picked it up here as of late. See, his July was just phenomenal. 368, 464, 663. 25 years old already, but he's got 22 home runs. He's on pace for 31. 900 OPS. Again, I got a lot of guys who are not very good at playing first base, but we move them around and we make it work. Taylor Trammell doing a really nice job for us at the top of the order. 1.6 WAR, 800 OPS, and people like him. My favorite player, Jim Lacombe, has a 912 OPS, guys. 912 OPS. Slugging at 605. He's got 28 home runs and 7 doubles. I honestly, I would have thought he would have had more gap power or more doubles and more triples with that gap power, but he's on pace for 40 home runs in 108 games. He's absolutely unplayable against lefties with a 17 contact, but against righties, he is well above average. And with that defense, he's absolutely an everyday player against right-handers. Manny Araujo, our starting second baseman, he's okay. He's out there more for his glove than he is his bat. He's one of those, you see a ton of these players in Out of the Park 21 with high contact and gap and high avoid Ks, but no home run and no I, and that's where he falls. Very good defensively, got a lot of speed. So he's been pretty solid. Luis Lopez, our other Rule 5 guy, was hurt part of the year. He's now platooning with Guava, but he's played pretty well as well, although he's probably the odd man out in that kind of that threesome of Lopez, Guava, and Valdez. Um, his defense isn't as good, and he's got some power, but everything else isn't quite as good. So, but he is only 22, so maybe he's got some room to develop there. Siapara in his first full season, not really hitting, but again, he's not out there for his bat. He's out there for his glove, and his glove has been terrific. Plus 8.1 zone rating. He's made 10 errors, but that doesn't really count. That doesn't really determine how good somebody is at a particular position. He's a very, very good shortstop, and that's what I like out of my shortstops. I don't need my shortstops to hit. Chris Russell, that average continues to plummet. He's down to 200, and that's a huge concern with what we are paying him. It just hasn't gotten better for him. July was just as bad as June. And we don't really have any other options at catcher, so we may need to do something to shore that up this offseason. I'm still comfortable paying him what we're paying him. I mean, his ratings say that he should be a better hitter, especially against righties. So I'm hoping that this is just a function of, full-time workload in the big leagues, and he's got to work through it. So that's kind of what I'm hoping. Is showing a little bit of power. He's on pace for 20 home runs, but that average is just rough. We talked about the Hoyos, and then we signed Willy Adames just as a backup third baseman and shortstop. Once we made some of the moves, we needed somebody to back up those positions, so we called him up, or we traded for him, or signed him rather from his free agent. And then Angel Gonzalez, again, catcher. He's not really performing, and he's really, really bad defensively. So actually, that may be something we want to take a look at. Oh, Juan Soto's on the trade block. Oof. Let's see who's gonna be. Take a look at this. Bryce Harper's still going. Oh, that was one thing I wanted to show you. Let's look at this before we look at the free agent list. Cody Bellinger hit home run number 700. He's 36 years old. He's currently got a total of 701 career home runs at age 36. Still going strong, man. I mean, he's good for, about 7 more this season. So a couple more years like this, and he's got Mr. Bonds in his sights. So let's go back at upcoming free agents. I'm just curious who's on the list here. So we've got Jim Pruitt, the former Cub, is somebody I'm going to make a run at. We should have the money. He's fragile, though, which is a bit concerning, but he has really not missed a start in 5 years as a Cub. Doesn't pitch a ton of innings. You would think with that type of stamina that he would be 220 innings or so, but he hasn't. So that'll be somebody that we potentially make a run at. There are a couple of decent names here, but really what I want to see is this. No, there are no young catchers coming up, so I'm going to do this. Oh, that's not what I want. This is what I want. Take a look at catchers, batting potential. I mean, I wouldn't mind a veteran who isn't all that interested in starting, but is a good defensive catcher. Ali Sanchez is always a name that I gravitate towards. In this world, though, he's a starter, making way too much money to be my backup. Logan Tanner can't hit, but at least he can field. Problem is I don't want to send him down because, I can't send him down. He was a Rule 5 guy, so if I send him down, I lose him. And I think I might just hold off for now, but that's going to be point of emphasis in the offseason is picking up a good defensive catcher, because that's part of the reason my pitching staff has not been good, because my catching situation has not been good. Although Russell, I mean, to be fair, Russell's been pretty good defensively. You just can't hit. So if we go over to pitching, we already talked about Andre. We showed you his stats with us: 2-1, 1.52, 5 starts. Josh Beck, we moved him into the starting rotation, and he's been okay. His FIP is better than his ERA, so he's pitching a little better than what his numbers would indicate. He's walking too many people, but he hasn't given up a home run all season, so that's helped keep that keep that from getting out of control. Springer, again, he struggled, but he's up to 3.5 star now, so I'm hoping these are just kind of those rookie issues, and not the best catching situation. Josh Wilcher has continued to improve a little bit. I think his July was pretty good as well. It was only 1-2, but a 2.79 ERA. So last 11 starts has been pretty good for him. So he's starting to come around a bit, which is nice to see at age 23. Danny Carr Camo has not been good. We may have to consider moving him out of the rotation this season, though. I mean, I don't see the point, so we may as well just let him run out the string and see how he does. G has had an up and down season as our closer this year, but striking out more than a batter in innings, still giving up too many home runs, but hopefully. Yeah, and then the rest of the bullpen are just kind of floats them and jets them. I mean, none of these guys are elite, prospects or anything like that. Silguero may be with us for the long term. He's been pretty good this year, coming right from high A ball. But otherwise, it's pretty uninspiring. I like the top 3 of our rotation: Andre, Springer, and Wilcher. I can add a 4th to that. I think that's going to go a long way to helping us. And then from a lineup perspective, there's not a whole lot we can do. We just got to kind of ride it out with what we have. We've got some pieces here for sure. Lacombe and Russell are kind of 2 big pieces for us. And then, Lopez and Valdez and Guevara have shown flashes. Her Blanche, like I said, very, very solid option at third base. And then from a prospect perspective, Josh Allen has taken really, really well to A-ball, 810 OPS in 37 games. We did actually call him up to AA. We'll let him finish the season off in AA. We'll start him there next year. I'll probably do AA, AAA next year, and then probably be with us in 2023. So good start to his career. Phil Golladay is absolutely destroying AAA. 427, 451, 641 in 25 games. I'm going to leave him there. No reason to rush him. He is 24. There is still development room, so I'm hoping he can grow into these numbers over the course of the rest of the season, and then he can be our starting left fielder next year. That's kind of the hope. And then Billy Melder I decided to hold on to, and I'm just going to sort of throw him to the wolves here and say, all right, it's time to kind of put up or shut up, as they say. He's 24 years old. He's got to at least be in AA. He's going to pitch the rest of this season in AA. We'll see how he does, and then we'll figure out what to do with him in the offseason, if he's a actual prospect or if he's, a fringe guy. So financially, we're okay. Our money for extensions has dropped a little bit, but that's because we picked up Andre. That added $11 million to our payroll next season. I don't suspect that we're going to spend all of this. We're going to make some of this back when some of this money falls off of our books. Luzardo is down to a 24 stamina, so he's basically been a reliever for the Dodgers. I'm glad I moved him. We've got some money on the books that's not ours, like G, and he's going to be there for the next couple of years. There's nothing we can do about that now. Will Smith comes off the books next season. We got some people in here that we're probably not going to bring back, like Nunez will probably non-tender, Jack Owen will non-tender. So that's going to save us a little bit of money, and then we'll see if we can make some moves in free agency that will be intelligent. We're not going to go after any 30-plus free agents. If there are some free agents that are in their mid-20s, up to about 28, 29, maybe 28 is probably that peak. We'll pull the trigger potentially and see if we can improve the club, but that's pretty much where we are for now. So when we start up next episode, it will likely be the end of the regular season. We'll run through team stats. We'll probably look at the league history, because this league has been going on now for about a decade. We started with the Cubs, and then we went to the Red Sox, and now we're over to the A's. And I just want to kind of take a look and see where some of those players are that where they started out, when we started out, and kind of how their careers have gone on and stuff. So that'll probably be the next episode. And then, of course, the off season, unless we make some sort of absurd run here over the next 2 months. So as always, leave a like, subscribe, let me know your thoughts. And until we talk again, guys, everybody take care. Bye-bye.